bring the museum back to life.
You know, people sit out on the front porch hoping people will come by.
Go forth and do good. It's insane. I have the most understanding wife in the world.
I treat everybody the same thing.
Oh, that's the other thing I love about Marietta. It's like a melting pot.
You are listening to Marietta Stories. Each week, veteran podcaster Bill Nowicki brings you the heartwarming, interesting, and fun stories from the people that make the community of Marietta, Georgia, a place to call home. Here's your host, Bill Nowicki.
Yeah, here we are, Paul. We're getting close to the end of Marietta Stories Season 5. Crooked Tree. I keep wanting to say Rainforest Cafe.
That's the one.
Crooked Tree Cafe. And our new friend Jeff is going to join us, but he just got off there being slammed at lunch, which is a good thing. I like restaurants being slammed. But it's very homey kind of environment here. They have some crooked trees on the wall. I bet you there's a story there. But they said the Crooked Tree Smoked Brisket Reuben. That looks heavy, but it looks good too. Chicken noodle soup, barbecue. Sandwiches served on a bakery bun with one side. Plate serves with two sides and a biscuit. We're going to try that brisket. I'm going to try the brisket barbecue sandwich. How are you doing, Paul?
Oh, wonderful. It's a Friday. What is it? What day is it? Is it Friday? When you're retired. When you're retired, you wake up, it's like, what day is it?
You retired officially?
No, it's just that, I told you in past episodes, my work is slowed down 80% until it gets ramped back up again. So I'm feeling what it's like to feel retired.
How do you like it?
I don't. It sucks. It is, I don't envy people who are fully retired and idle. It's horrible.
Some people like to be idle, not you.
Anyway, this Crooked Tree Cafe is owned by Jeff Haeger, right?
I just dumped some iced tea in my pants. Hey, Jeff, sit down. You got a minute? Sure. All right, so Jeff, you're the proprietor here at Crooked Tree Cafe.
I am.
So tell me your story. How'd you end up here in Marietta in this wonderful restaurant?
Well, I've been cooking for over 30 years all over the country, and the Crooked Tree actually started in Vinings. We bought an existing restaurant and ran that for 3 years, three and a half, until the lease ran out. This spot opened up. My folks' next door neighbor happens to be good friends with the landlord, and it just fell right into place.
So what's the restaurant business like? If you were to say someone's brand new and say, I'm thinking of opening a restaurant, what would you tell them?
Ooh, do your homework. Do a lot of homework, and then do it again.
Not an easy business. It's one of those survivor bias type places. When I talk about it and I do training, I say when you see restaurants that are operating, you don't see the 80% that have failed.
No. We've been here close somewhere right around 8 years.
Really?
And the first 4 years were really tough. Just in finding help, finding business, getting our name out there, all of that.
What brings you back besides this is what I know to do?
Well, it's always been about the food. I've been a chef, for a line cook or a sous chef, any of that for my entire career. So it's always started with the food, and then went from there. And then after a couple of years, when we started to stick a little bit, and the same people started coming back, and you hear people say, "Oh my God, this is really good." That's why.
Yeah. And you were one of the places we asked on the Facebook group, what's a good hole-in-the-wall restaurant? A lot of folks named your restaurant. So it's obviously special. We're excited to try some of the food, but I bet you Paul has a question.
Yeah, I see you're open for breakfast and lunch.
Yes, sir.
Dinner as well?
We tried dinner when we first opened, and didn't work. It didn't work. We were too young, too unknown. And we may go to it in the future, but right now the plan is to, once we get over the hurdle and find help and find the right help, we look at doing either pickup or delivery dinner only, not in-house.
One thing for me with sandwiches, the bread makes it. I don't know how you feel about that.
As a restaurant, I stumbled on Engelman's Bakery a long time ago, and have consistently bought from Engelman's. I tried a couple here or there, but couldn't beat consistency, like you say, the consistency and the price of buying from Engelman's.
Breakfast, I've had breakfast here. I've had your breakfast burrito. I think I had a breakfast burrito when I first met you.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I had. That was fabulous. And then everybody's looking for a breakfast spot, and I think I've got most of them here in Marietta, mom and pops. I know there's Derek's down the street.
Yep.
I know there's you, and there's Red-Eyed Mule.
Red-Eyed Mule.
And Come and Get It? Is that they offer breakfast?
They do.
Yeah. So anyway, my question to you is, besides eating here in your own breakfast and lunch, where would you go?
For breakfast? Red-Eyed Mule was always my go-to. I actually used to live right around the corner from Red-Eyed Mule. So my day off on Monday, that was where I went.
Okay.
That's good. Yes, she's something special, that's for sure. Any connection with the Crooked Tree? Where did that come from? Is just what you saw outside your restaurant?
So way back when, I guess that would be about 10 to 12 years ago, I wanted to find a Southern image that related back to me. And so just in sitting and thinking about what that name should be, I latched onto a camping trip that I took in middle school, I think, maybe pre-middle school, where we went to Cumberland Island and camped for like 10 days.
Really?
And
that sounds pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun. Haven't had a chance to go back, but and the campsite was right next to one of the giant live oaks or angel oaks. And the image that came into my head was me up in that tree with a book in my hand. I believe the ocean was off to the right and the campsite was there on the left. And that was the image that clicked in my head.
And I hear what you're saying.
Was where the Crooked Tree came from.
Why did that stick in your head, would you say?
I don't know. Maybe it was just that good of a vacation. When I was young, something about that stuck.
Yeah. Talk about Southern food. You talked about the South. What to you, like if you were to say, I love this place because of its Southern food, or what is it about your place that's Southern that you think people should know about?
The core of what we do was always barbecue. As a cook or a chef, I always tended to go back to it in some way because of the whole cooking low and slow and taking the time to do it right. And then even before cooking it, all the meats are marinated. They're all brined. There's just that attention to detail. And so it was always barbecue that I went back to. There's always, people cook shrimp and grits or the fresh vegetables and tomatoes.
Biscuits?
And biscuits.
Yeah. So what's the brisket? How do you make your biscuits?
Ooh.
Not the secret part, but just in general.
Unfortunately, as a chef, I will freely admit that I cook for a living and I do not bake.
Oh, I see.
So when it came time to open the place, I did make several attempts at doing biscuits, and I can do them, but it's the consistency part that I couldn't do repeatedly.
Oh, that makes sense. And one last thing, I'll kick it back to Paul, but that's interesting you should say that, because as a successful restaurant owner, you got to know what you can do and what you can't do.
Yes, very much.
Does that play into your role? Are you constantly kind of analyzing your business in that way?
In some ways. A majority of the restaurants that I worked at, they had been around for a while, so their menus had been tuned to a point where it was like a machine. So for these past, I would say 5 or 6 years, I have not been afraid to make constant changes to that menu to get to that point, to where the food that we're serving right now is some of the best that we've served ever.
Okay. Cool. Questions about food, maybe, Paul?
I would like to know about your personal life. Are you married? Do you have kids? And has anybody in your family gone into the restaurant business?
I am recently married. I got married to my lovely wife the day before Thanksgiving last year. Her name.
Glad you remembered that.
Her name is Pam.
Shout out to Pam.
Pam, we actually met in a restaurant a long time ago. From my parents and my brother and things like that, no one. I'm the only one in the restaurant business. Really. So, but my father was always intrigued by the idea of opening the restaurant.
What was kind of the seminal moment, like 30 whatever years ago, where you said, "Yeah, I'm going to go for it"? Because it's such a leap, isn't it?
Well, the first restaurant was actually at Town Center Mall at the Ruby Tuesday that was there. It was coming home from college, and I was a dishwasher over Christmas. The idea of what was going on felt right.
Yeah, because there's stuff going on. It's not boring. You're not sitting around on a desk.
And they paid more money than Belk's.
There you go. I don't know. Interesting.
Something Bill and I have discussed since we started doing this particular season of mom and pop restaurants. We've discovered that, over the course of talking to folks in various restaurants and having them, wanting them to communicate back with us. Hey, are you interested in doing a podcast? And okay, well, what's your phone number? What's your email address? And we've discovered that people in the restaurant business are a completely different breed. You know what I'm saying? So you're a different.
See people that do that. They go to work in sales, but they're selling food. They're selling wine. They're still in the food business. They're just not in the restaurant business.
Well, I was wondering, how would you explain?
Yeah. Why are you the exception, you think?
Oh, well, I was used to I had heard the name before. I pay attention to the Marietta Facebook page, and had seen either yours or another one. Okay. And when I got the email, I was like, hey, sure, why not? Right. We are constantly inundated with emails and phone calls, and use my credit card services, use this, do that, market with us. So it becomes very easy for us to just...
Yeah. Great idea. It goes to the back of your head, then it's gone.
And then, and just that deluge of stuff, it's very easy to just block it out.
Makes sense. See, Paul? Yeah. We got to the bottom of that.
That explains it. Explains a lot of it, because these folks that we talk to, they're working 14 hours a day. Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
Sometimes. Not every day. I am breakfast and lunch, so we're done.
Yeah, but the pizza guy was like 9 a.m. to 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah.
What?
He's doing dinner.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's true.
He's talking about Baby Tommy's. Okay. New York pizza.
Right there?
Yeah, right there. Great pizza.
It is.
Great guy, but he's working himself, has never had a vacation. I think he said he was in the hospital. That was his vacation.
Well, he also got away for a few days. But let's turn to food. Yeah. You talked about barbecue. Anything else that when people experience the Crooked Tree would just kind of be a hit?
We're kind of finally at a point where I'm able to do different things off the menu. I'm able to go to the farmer's market and buy vegetables. I'm able to spend some time looking around for my purveyors and finding a certain piece of meat, doing things that you're not going to find at a breakfast and lunch place.
Yeah. And your menu's like for today?
Well, usually it's weekly. Unfortunately, because of COVID, that's why they're printed now. Hopefully, at some point in the future, we'll go back to traditional menus. But.
All right, let's talk a little about COVID, and then we'll let you go unless Paul has a final question. But COVID, what was the impact like March 20th or 12th or whatever it was last year? What happened at the Crooked Tree?
I had, I guess, enough foresight to start putting my employees on unemployment to make sure they were taken care of. We never closed, maybe should have, but we stayed open 5 days a week. We closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and the rest of the time we were here selling food to go. Most days it was my wife and I and one server, and we made food.
And what percentage-wise did you lose business?
80%.
Wow. Where is it now?
Over that.
Are you back?
Back plus.
Oh, back plus.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's great. All right. Well, Jeff, anything I didn't ask you that you're curious to tell people about the Crooked Tree or yourself?
Other than I think we've managed to create a unique little spot. We're on our own here on 41. We've been here long enough that we've created a name that people are coming here to eat. You know, just like they go to other places. They're not going to a store and then going to eat. They're coming here to eat. And that makes it, to me, makes it a little more special that we're still here.
There was just like 6 Air Force guys leaving when we were showing up.
They were. There was this was our second big military group. They came in today. I was like,
Yeah, we want to support the military. I'm sure you like their support too. But Jeff, thanks so much. We can't wait to try your food, and then we'll shoot you the podcast before it gets published. Let you listen to it and let me know if you have any changes you want me to add anything.
thank you very much.
You know, when John Sylvie reached out to me to be a sponsor of Marietta Stories podcast, I jumped at the chance. I love the guy. He's a humanitarian. He's a small business owner. He's a franchise owner, and he cares so much about Marietta. I got him on the show last year. I was not disappointed. He works hard every day. He only sleeps like 3 to 4 hours a day. Why? Because he's got a lot to do to make Marietta better. And he does a lot right at the Zaxby's. 591 South Marietta Parkway. Go check it out and tell him Bill Nowicki sent you. It's time to check in with my friends at Johnny Walker Realty. Let's hear from Johnny Walker himself. We've kind of made it through that small business process into a, mid-size growing real estate empire.
Oh, I don't know about that. We're not trying to take over the world. We just want to be able to do a little business in Marietta and Cobb County and the surrounding areas, and we have great agents that work with us. And if it wasn't for them, none of this would have been possible.
Let's hear from one of their agents, Patty Kendrick. What made you decide to come over to Johnny Walker Realty?
It was just a good fit. A lot of these people worked with me in the past. We're all old Marietta folks and support each other, and that's about it.
What do you love about Marietta?
Oh, I've lived in Marietta my whole life.
So you don't know anything?
I don't know anything else.
Well,
I guess all the love and support that everyone gives each other.
if you're going to buy or sell a house, check out Johnny Walker Realty. That's JohnnyWalkerRealty.com. They're at 600 Kennesaw Avenue, Suite 200. Give them a call, 678-626-0403. Wow. Just delivered. I got the brisket, barbecue sauce on the side, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Brussels sprout, which I never was a fan until they started roasting them. I don't know when that happened.
I've never been a fan of Brussels sprouts. I am now for the exact same reason. I'm going to try one of those Brussels sprouts.
Delish.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yes.
And the brisket I just had of yours, and that's possibly the best brisket I've ever had.
I agree. He says he injects them, marinates them,
Thank you.
and barbecue sauce is different. And it does taste different.
I've got the spicy chicken wrap and potato salad. So I'm going to go ahead and get a bite of the potato salad and see what that's like. And everything is homemade.
Yeah.
Potato salad is very good. Spicy chicken wrap. That's very good.
Yeah, potato salad is delicious. Those red potatoes. One of my fans said they listened to the podcast and then they got hungry. It was like, I got to go get something to eat.
Oh, really? Wow. Did they say which one they were liked?
No, they like all of them. But Marie's Kitchen they roasted to.
Oh. Wow, you have fans.
I don't know. She has a podcast too, so we're kind of podcast junkies.
Oh, yeah, you told me about her.
Man, that brisket is really tasty. I like the biscuit too. Very good. They have jellies and butter. And check it out.
So this is the sweet tea brine smoked chicken with the Alabama-style white barbecue sauce.
Alabama style, eh? You're crossing the border there, brother.
Across the border. I was born in Alabama. So.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to try it. Man,
Smoky.
delish. Man, that's good. Now we know why it was recommended from Facebook.
Yeah, that's very good recommendation.
Yeah. All right.
Did you mention the address?
No, we should. It's off of 41. It's pretty sparse when it comes to restaurants up here, but it's probably 7 minutes from the Marietta Square. 41. Here he comes. He's scrolling. He's looking. He doesn't like his iPhone, but he's going to work through it. That's Canva. It looks like. I don't know what that is. All right. Paul's failed open. No, he hasn't. He's never failed me. All right. Let's see. It is called Cobb Parkway North. Many positive reviews. 704 reviews.
Wow.
Out of 4.4 out of 5 here at the Crooked Tree Cafe. Breakfast and lunch. 915 Cobb Parkway North, Marietta, Georgia. Check it out. Maybe we'll see you here. Any way to close things out, Paul? We're getting close to the end. Where do we head to next?
And the next place we're going to go to is Mulligan's. Next week, next Friday, we're going to go to Mulligan's.
Oh, I'm scared of biker bars, Paul.
I talked to the owner there last week, and she was very excited about doing an episode.
All right, we're just leaving the Crooked Tree Cafe, talking to Jeff afterwards, after we had that great meal. And so cool is when COVID hit, of course, everything went bad. And one of the things they did was he talked to his landlord, and his landlord allowed him just to cover his cover the landlord's expenses for the building every month, and he owned the place outright and all that. So he did that for a few months and then increased it, and as things started coming back. But it's those people that, one, they recognize that, hey, that wasn't Jeff's fault that COVID hit. How can I help him out in his business? And I just love those stories, don't you, Paul?
Absolutely. He seems like a regular guy, very knowledgeable. Has a 30 years experience doing what he does, and I think he's nailed it. And he said he's been there 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they went in. You know.
Well, the other part he shared with us is the way he makes his chicken, and it's a sweet tea brine. He puts it in, like, was it 2 days or something? And then he smokes it. And the chicken was amazing.
Well, so we asked him about the tea. What's the purpose of the tea? It doesn't make It didn't make any sense. And then he explained that after it comes off the smoker, it's got a mahogany color to it, the skin, and then just underneath the skin, the meat has that color. And so that's the reason for the tea. Mm-hmm. So thought that was
a little bit of salt and sugar, and man, it's really top notch. I was excited we found this place, and thanks, Paul, for your hard snooping around and found Crooked Tree, and he responded. We also talked to him about why people don't respond in the restaurant industry, and he goes, we're inundated with, hey, buy this credit card, get capital funding. And we're constantly getting bombarded with people. So when emails come through, that's not the best way to communicate. So we learned. We got the root cause, I think.
Well, so we've got one more to do, right?
Yeah, Mulligan's biker bar. Man, I'm full, though, aren't you?
I had just enough. You had about twice as much as I did.
I tried to stop. But anyway, it was delicious. Check out Marietta Stories Podcast. Tell a couple friends about the show. If you have an idea for an upcoming episode, bill@mariettastories.com. I'm going to make season 6 all about whatever happened to COVID, whether it changed your life, you did what you did about it. So if you have any ideas for the show, probably going to be about 10 episodes, bill@mariettastories.com.